Are you brave enough to hear the story? A story that starts with a simple phrase on a birthday, but that, in reality, will change everything you think about family and unconditional love. Imagine that you spend years doing everything for your children, loving them, sacrificing for them, and on the most special day, they look at you and say, "I don't want presents. I just want you to disappear." Can you imagine the pain of that? Now, imagine that this phrase wasn't just a rebellious teenager's outburst.
No.
This phrase was hiding a secret that, until then, no one knew. And this secret, as devastating as it is, was about to change everything in this mother's life forever. And the worst part, the secret that the mother will discover won't just change her life, but will destroy her entire family's life. Stay with me until the end, because you will be shocked by what happened next. Before we move forward with the story, leave a like if you've ever imagined what it would be like to lose contact with someone you love. And subscribe now so you don't miss out on other intense stories like this one. Now, let's begin. It was a birthday party, and Sarah was eagerly awaiting the day when her son, Lucas, would turn 14. She had planned everything with care, just as she had done for every one of Lucas's birthdays. She prepared the cake, decorated the house, and even invited some of his school friends, but something was different. Sarah felt that things were starting to change between her and her son. He was more closed off, more distant, but she tried to ignore it. Maybe it was just the teenage phase. When the moment came, Sarah was with her eyes shining with emotion, waiting to see the smile on Lucas's face as he opened his presents. But instead of a "thank you, Mom," or even a hug, Lucas looked into her eyes and said, in a cold and direct tone, "I don't want presents. I just want you to disappear." Sarah was in shock. How could this happen? How could she hear this from her own son, whom she loved so much? But what she didn't know was that this phrase was just the beginning of revealing what was behind Lucas's pain, a secret that had been hidden for a long time. The silence after those words was deafening. Sarah tried to understand what was going on, but she couldn't. She spent the days trying to talk to Lucas, but he kept shutting her out more and more. She spoke to him about the special moments they had shared, about the difficulties they had gone through together, but nothing seemed to reach Lucas's heart. Until, after a few days, Sarah found something that changed everything. She was cleaning Lucas's room when she saw something strange in the drawer. A letter. And when she opened it, the words she read made her tremble. "Mom, if you don't leave me alone, I'll run away and never come back. I can't live in this lie anymore." There was no name signed, but Sarah knew it was a direct message for her. And that's when Lucas's secret began to unravel. What Sarah didn't know was that Lucas was hiding a much deeper secret. Something that, had she known before, would have changed everything. Sarah didn't know what to do. She felt that with each passing day, she was growing more distant from her son. But she was determined to understand what was going on. It wasn't until one night that Lucas finally gave in and called her for a conversation. In the depths of Lucas's eyes, there was something Sarah had never seen before: pain, regret, but also an enormous amount of anger. And it was at that moment that Lucas revealed everything. He wasn't just being rebellious. Lucas had discovered something terrible, something Sarah had desperately been trying to forget for years. The family secret that everyone had tried to hide. Lucas revealed that, a few years ago, when Sarah was still married to his father, he had found a hidden box in the house. Inside the box were documents that confirmed that, in reality, he wasn't Sarah's biological son. And worse, he discovered that his real mother, whom he had never known existed, had died under mysterious circumstances. The secret Sarah thought she had buried didn't just destroy her relationship with Lucas, but now it was exposing everything she had kept hidden. He didn't know all the details, but enough to believe that his entire life had been a lie. The confrontation between Sarah and Lucas was inevitable. The words they exchanged were harsh, full of anger and desperation. But deep down, Sarah knew Lucas was just trying to deal with the truth in a way he had never known before. She couldn't blame him for feeling betrayed. But the question that remained was, what would Sarah do now? On a quiet night, Sarah went up to the attic of her house and found the box again. When she opened it, she found more documents, deeper revelations about her own past. The secret she thought would never be touched was now crumbling around her. She knew she had to face the consequences. After that confrontation, Sarah was alone. She knew she couldn't hide anything anymore. Lucas was right. Her entire life had been built on lies and secrets. Now she had to decide. Should she distance herself, as Lucas wanted, or try to rebuild their relationship, facing all the ghosts of the past? But Sarah's decision wasn't easy. She was torn between her love for Lucas and the weight of the choices she had made in the past. What was the right thing to do? She knew that after that night, nothing would ever be the same. After so many sleepless nights, so many days trying to understand what to do, Sarah knew the moment had come to make a decision. She couldn't hide the truth from Lucas anymore. She knew she couldn't carry the weight of that secret any longer. Her relationship with the son she loved so much couldn't be rebuilt on a foundation of lies. Sarah then decided to go to Lucas and apologize. Not only for the pain she had caused, but for trying to protect him from something so big and deep. Perhaps, in trying to spare him, she had ended up creating even more distance between them. Lucas was in his room, with a closed expression and tired eyes. When Sarah entered, he raised his head, but didn't say anything. It was as if the words had run out. She felt the weight of his gaze, the frustration, the abandonment, and she knew it was time to put everything into words. She took a deep breath and, with a shaky voice, began to speak. Lucas, I love you. I've always loved you, and maybe that's why I made this decision. I hid the truth from you, because I wanted to protect you. I thought that if you knew, everything would change between us, that you would hate me. But I was wrong. I deprived you of your story, of your identity, and the chance to understand your own life. I am your mother, Lucas, and there is nothing in this world I want more than to regain the trust you lost in me. The silence in the room was heavy. Lucas wouldn't look at her. His mind was filled with thoughts, a whirlwind of anger, confusion, and pain. He felt betrayed, not only by his mother, but by the whole world. But deep down, he knew there was some truth in Sarah's words. Lucas, with tears in his eyes, stood up slowly. He looked at his mother, but for a moment, it seemed like he still didn't believe her. You knew all this and never told me? I'm not your biological son? And you made me live a lie all these years. The pain in his voice was palpable, and the words fell like stones into Sarah's heart. But she didn't look away. She knew this moment of confrontation was their only chance to rebuild what they had lost. Lucas, still with a closed expression, tried to walk away, but Sarah grabbed his arm. I know this is hard to swallow, but I love you, Lucas. And that will never change. I protected you, but I also deprived you of something you needed to know. Now, all I want is for us to go back to being the mother and son we've always been, based on truth, respect, and love. I know this won't be easy, but I'm willing to try again if you're willing to. Lucas looked at her, his anger giving way to confusion. He was hurt, yes, but deep down, the love he had for Sarah had never gone away. He took a deep breath, and for the first time in days, his words were softer. I don't know if I can forgive you right away, Mom. But I understand that you did this because you thought you were protecting me. I can't promise that things will go back to the way they were before, but maybe we can start over. Not because of the lie, but because we're still family. Sarah smiled with tears in her eyes, and with a trembling voice, she replied, I don't expect everything to go back to normal right away, son. But what I can promise is that I will fight for you. And together, we will rebuild our relationship with what's most important, love, respect, and the truth that, even though it's hard, will make us stronger. In those silent moments, mother and son were reconnecting. It wasn't a magical return to the past, but a painful and real reconstruction of what could be a future of renewed trust. Sarah knew she had made mistakes, but she was willing to fix them. Lucas, in turn, understood that he couldn't carry the anger forever. He had been hurt, but also knew that his mother's love was genuine. And maybe that was enough to start over. Because in the end, families are not perfect. They have flaws, secrets, and wounds, but they are, above all, a space for new beginnings. And Sarah and Lucas decided that, despite everything that had happened, the love between them could, indeed, overcome the difficulties. Together, with time and patience, they would try to recover what had always been stronger than any secret, the unconditional love that unites a mother and a son. And you, have you ever faced a crisis in your family? How would you deal with the pain of rejection from someone you love so much? Leave your comment below and share the story if you believe that forgiveness and truth are the foundations of a strong family relationship. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell for more touching stories like this one. The true strength of a family lies in its ability to rebuild, forgive, and stay together. Thank you for watching.